Okay, so we're getting a new Picard Season 3 trailer. Now, I didn't cover the last one, as one, nothing much happened in it, and two, I heard another trailer was dropping at NYCC Comic Con, which it has. So, if you haven't seen it, it's not going to contain spoilers for the show, but it will contain some thoughts and theories. As always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review, and let's get to it. So yeah, the first trailer didn't really give us much other than Picard and Riker looking at ships and a glance at the new USS Titan. But in this trailer we get a lot more. We get a villain reveal, we get some surprise faces and some not surprise faces. But with two very poor seasons behind it, and this show is literally on strike free. New showrunner, and by the way that's 3 and 3 seasons as well, Terry Matalas has promised some hardcore Trek fans some hardcore Trek. So let's have a look and see what's going on. So it looks as if Picard is in 10 forward having his lunch, and is Whoopi Goldberg going to be back? I don't think she was mentioned in the cast. Also some other cast members missing, but I'll get to that later on in the video. And then he gets his lunch disturbed and we're off. So he's been sent a distress call from Beverly, who it seems is no longer in Starfleet and has got herself into a bit of trouble. We see a bunch of clips that were used from the first trailer and we get more of the Titan. And then we get the big villain reveal, and we knew it was going to be a woman because Matalas had mentioned it on Twitter. And it's one of his 12 Monkeys cast, Amanda Plummer, and yes, I know who her dad is before you start, but if you want to talk about it in the comments, do that as well. Trek Legacy, all that stuff, it's pretty good. Now, she's playing Vatic, who's the captain of the Shriek. Now, I don't know if that is the name of the ship, or the organisation, or the race. She looks human, but it's kind of hard to tell. We don't get a really good look at her in this trailer. And those are all good questions, but the better one is, what does she want? The first time we hear her speak, she says, "How very precise with your timing, Jean-Luc Picard." So it doesn't seem to me that she knows him personally, or that there's any real connection there. But is this going to be a new villain, or is it going to go back to something that happened with the crew in the TNG era? Later on in the trailer, she mentions burning the ground as he stands on it, so it does seem personal if you ask me. And she also mentioned that she was looking for vengeance, but vengeance against what? What's happened to her or her people that's caused this, and what does she want? All good questions, and I'd like to hear your theories below. I didn't recognise any of the aliens, and although the ships do look different, it was a sort of completely unique ship design, so it's kind of hard to track back to anything. But I'm going to go through this trailer later on and see if I can pick it apart and come up with any answers. But in the meantime, I want to know what you think. What is this person up to, and what does she want from Jean-Luc Picard? And we get more of a montage of clips, again including the Titan getting its arse kicked. And what is it about Star Trek since 2009 that they really love destroying new ships? I mean, come on man, it happens in pretty much every film the ship gets its ass kicked. But anyway, I know you want to talk about the main cast, and yep, we see them all: Riker, Geordi, Worf, Troy and Crusher. Brett Spiner as well, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And this is the part in the trailer that's kind of got me a little bit worried.
You should know that I now prefer pacifism.
We see Worf fighting Raffi, and yeah, I hope he kills her as well, but it's just this bit in the scene beforehand when Worf says that line, and yeah, that's not great. As I said, Picard season 1 and 2 have me worried, but this looks a lot more Trek than the last season, which was all set in Earth, so it's not going to be hard to beat. But we're getting new locations and ships, and even a new Enterprise. And yep, that is a new Enterprise. Some of you probably knew it was coming sooner rather than later, but the trailer seems to confirm it's the Enterprise F in what appears to be an Odyssey-class starship from Star Trek Online. But the way that Worf is saying this line, that he's become a pacifist, is such a huge shift in the character. For the 35 plus years that was spent with this guy, I just worry, how are they going to justify it and explain it? this show has already butchered quite a lot of Trek favourites, and if they start doing it to the main cast, I can't see myself watching or at the very least reviewing all of this season. But in saying that, I do have hope, and so should you as well. I suppose if you want, if you don't, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this whole trailer looks as if Jean-Luc's going to need to get the gang back together, and I just hope this isn't just a side quest after side quest in order to do so, and every time we meet a new one of the gang, and by that I mean the old TNG cast, we get to hear about the trauma that's happened over the last 20 years or so, you know, like they done with Picard Season 2 and his dead mum. Of course, I'm looking forward to seeing the old cast and finding out what these characters are up to. I just hope they handled them better than they have the first 2 seasons of Picard. But there's quite a few surprises in this trailer. Like I say, we get a look at the new Enterprise, and I hope that we do get to meet the captain and some of the crew as well. Though I don't think they're going to spend too much time on the ship because it'd bog it down a little bit, especially with all the old cast coming back. But the big surprise face that we get from this trailer, and man, never in my wildest dreams did I think that this would happen, we get Moriarty back from the classic 2 TNG episodes, and that is a hard lean into TNG, and I hope it pays off. It looks as if he's some sort of hologram aboard the La Serena, so I guess it's probably going to be Raffi that's in charge of that ship and the Moriarty hologram. But yeah, why is Moriarty back and what is he up to? I hope it's just a fun little nod as opposed to a main story thread, but that's just me. And the other surprising face that we did get back, but it wasn't really that surprising, is Brent Spiner as Lore. So yeah, it appears that Lore's aged, and I guess they'll probably say that that's part of his development by Dr. Soong, or maybe it's because he was a prototype, it's a design flaw or something like that. And I'm not particularly jazzed that they keep bringing Brent Spiner back. He said it himself years ago that he's too old to play these characters now, and it definitely is shown. It does feel a little bit desperate to me, and yeah, it would be nice if he was missing, because that way you would feel the loss of Data rather than just having the hole filled by Lore. But in saying that, I'm interested in what Lore's been up to, because we haven't seen him since the end of Star Trek The Next Generation, when I think he was disassembled in Descent Part 2. So yeah, what's this guy been up to? It seems that he's in prison, but yeah, they're going to use him for something, and I just hope that they use it well. And that's the same with everything in here, because this is an entire universe and franchise that Terry Matalas has got to play with. And I keep saying it, but the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Picard are by far the worst seasons of Trek that we've ever had. Again, that's just my opinion. I do have hope for season 3, but I'm going into it with what I'd say is a realistic expectation that there will be highs, but there's probably going to be slightly more lows. But there's one character missing. We know that John Delancey is coming back as Q, which is a little surprising because he told us he was dying at the end of the last season. So how does he all fit into this? I've also heard we're going to be getting some Deep Space Nine references as well. And while this trailer is more exciting than the last, there is a lot more questions and answers. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Thoughts on the trailer and your theories about what's going on. Comment below, and if you've made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at TheGeeksReviews. I'm going to be posting my Lower Decks review later on today, so make sure that you don't miss it, and thanks for watching.